I am going to be answering any questions that you might have. Now, I did prepare some things because, in the eventuality that likely is the case, that you're not yet ready to ask any questions of me, and that's completely fine. I have prepared some things for you. One of the ones that I wanted to prepare for you today, pretty simply, hey, it's been 60 days on this channel. And so I just jumped right in because to be honest with you, I just got off a client call and did not have my light. So the lighting is a little dim, which is whatever. But I want to get into sharing with you some of the things, and I'll share my screen with you because I think it'll be interesting to um, see exactly kind of the view that I'm looking at. This is the what I have learned in my 60 days. And so I just want you to know, I'm being completely honest. I have seen flat views. Um, I have seen nothing really taking off. Um, and I will share a link in here as well. But I've been watching this video from vidIQ. This is not a promotion of vidIQ at all. In fact, just the contrary. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. vidIQ is actually a very good product. I do like it. I'm not necessarily endorsing it. You can use whatever, but I have found that a lot of the instructional videos there have been really pretty helpful. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you was my 60-day journey because it's now been 60 days. I would encourage you to go check out my 30-day update, which I will make sure that I link to here in this video. But I really wanted to break it down and kind of show what I have learned, um, and what I might be doing differently in the future too. So, because it's really only been 60 days, the next one coming up is going to be 90 days. So you better believe there's going to be a lot more things I have learned and will be changing in that one as well. So, what I have learned, again, that video, and I will mention it below, but there's several things. Number one, I need to start learning how to lead with the viewer's problems. You have issues. This is why you're coming to YouTube. Not always, of course. There's sometimes where you're coming for entertainment purposes. That's totally fine. But if you're like myself, you're going to kind of see if there's something that what is somebody talking about? What are they doing differently that maybe you could learn or do differently yourself? And so that's a lot of where and how YouTube can be really helpful. So I need to start thinking, and what I will do is look at the last number of videos and assess based on views and likes what may be more interesting. Certainly, the comments, anything there that I can learn from in terms of the type of content that I should be producing more of. Um, and that's my number two, which is really understanding what your problems are and how I can be of help. I've got 20 years of solid digital marketing experience that I can be sharing with you. I did see not necessarily as much interest in that topic as there is in what I'd like to make this channel more about, which is growing a business. And really not having a model to follow, unlike a franchise, which they pretty much, and I've owned one of those too, but they pretty much hand you a playbook and say, here, this is what you should be doing on day one, day 90. Here's what you should be doing from a marketing standpoint. Here's what your signage should look like. This is what your website should look like. And so I kind of remember thinking of it as almost as being in the military, where they're kind of telling you, here's what you need to wear. This is when you need to show up. This is what you need to do. These are the rules. And so, as a business owner, and it's an interesting metaphor because I have been in the military, so I understand what that life is like. Um, and I would say that's where franchising was a bit constricting for me. And so now in my own business, in my own consultancy, I don't have those limitations or rules and restrictions around. And also There's not the same kind of safety net necessarily either that you might feel like you have with a franchise. The difference being it's up to you every single day. As soon as you get up, you get to your desk, you've got to get to work, you've got to figure out what the next thing is. And so that is very much a lot of what people are trying to figure out when at least the founders that I've talked to, what they're trying to figure out on the day to day. And that's really where I want the focus for this channel to be. Um, I have been in business since full time since 2018, and so I have a lot that I can share. And then it was a side hustle when I was working for a in a corporate job in a 9 to 5. um, I was I was doing I had my own business going since 2014. So I had a few years doing the working the job, working the side hustle nights and weekends thing prior to actually getting in here full time. So I've got a lot of stuff to share, and I think that's really what I want this channel to be more or less about, to really help you. Um, the other thing I've learned in the last, again, back to the topic of the last 60 days, is adding curiosity, relatability, and relevance. And I would say this for any content you're producing, whether it is here on YouTube or if it's in your website or in LinkedIn as an article, or if you're creating a TikTok video. I think curiosity, relatability, and relevance should always be a part of your overall content and the way that you build content. Um, so definitely, and that takes a little bit of work. Sure, you could use ChatGPT or your favorite LLM to come up with, brainstorm uh, some curiosity, relatability, and relevance sort of topics. And if you can hit all three of those, that's obviously ideal. But what we really want to think about is the viewer and putting yourself in their shoes. Why do I need to come and hang out with you? What is it that you're giving me that somebody else is not giving me, or your direct competitor, or whatever? Why should I watch your channel versus somebody else's channel? That does come up. Your time is very precious, and so when you as the creator are creating something and someone is actually paying attention to what it is you're doing, you need to take note of that. And that's part of the analytics and the analysis of what is it that I produced? How did it perform? Those things that did really well, I need to do more of that stuff. So that, right? Next one, provide consistent value to a consistent audience. This will also help the YouTube algorithm, and that's really where you've kind of get into this whole um, shiny object syndrome, where you're talking about walking your dog one day, and the next day you're talking about the best camera to shoot a vlog. Those are not related. And so that doesn't mean that you can't walk your dog while you're talking about your favorite camera. You can kind of mix those things because it adds to the relatability, more of a human aspect of who it is you are and how you can help them better. So really kind of thinking about what are those other related topics or conversations that you can be also having. So, and also it, as I said, it primarily for always focus, again, I'll go back all the way back to 2004 and say anytime you're creating content, you should always be thinking of the person first and the search engine algorithm, whatever, AI, et cetera, second. Um, think about people first, then think about how this could be found, whether it is in a YouTube search or whether AI decides to pick it up or not. So always think about your people and whether or not the content you're bringing to them is useful and helpful and beneficial. Ultimately, isn't that really what you want to do? And isn't that what you as a viewer want to see when you're in somebody else's channel? Of course. All right. So my next one, what else we've got? So we have um, quality does matter, but progress matters more. And so this is where people get all hung up around, does the quality of my video look like that I am this like sort of top producer, or that I've got this like amazing studio and my camera is $4,000 and who cares? And I have seen uh, independent journalists walking around with an iPhone, not even 16, but like an iPhone 12 or 14, and nothing current, in other words, and doing without any lighting, just doing their work and just really doing it in a way that is not necessarily polished, doesn't necessarily look professional, but it just is. They show up, they're consistent, and they're there. That's what I know is it becomes a very difficult thing for a lot of creators, is just having that ability to let go of the control of what it actually looks like. And this is particularly difficult for a lot of, I think, newer creators, especially, and newer business owners for that matter, that know they should get on video but can't or won't for a variety of reasons. It's not easy, but once you get in there, you can just go and just make this a consistent thing. So, so there's that, right? Here's another one we've got. Um, this channel is for you, and that's I'm telling you, this channel is for you. If like me, you're a small business owner, you're a creator or a consultant, and you're building something amazing for your clients, and hopefully you're learning along the way. This is really something very, very important, and something that I know that will, I'm not going to change the focus of this channel. I've got another channel that's a little bit older. I have not really done much with it, and I may turn it into another marketing angle for something, actually, for this 30-day challenge that I have to also provide you my weekly update, which I won't wrap into this one. I will create a separate weekly update video for you here, but it may be likely for that specific digital marketing in-house audience. I think that might be a better fit rather than trying to talk to you as a small business owner or creator or consultant and trying to talk to the in-house digital marketer. Those are two different, completely different people. Now, that doesn't mean that an in-house digital marketer might not want to be a solo consultant one day. Sure. But for right now and for the purposes of this channel, those are two different audiences. And right now I'm speaking to you, the creator. And so that's really what I just kind of want to make sure that I'm mentioning that here in as part of my what have I learned in 60 days, and it is this. My specialization, when I think about, you know, what I could offer and how I could do things differently, it is in digital marketing. I am deeply specialized in search engine optimization for 20 years now. I've worked for very large, well-known brands all over the world. I've architected these very big enterprise search marketing programs. So I have all of that experience behind me. But I don't know that you're necessarily interested in that, and that's totally fine. Um, my other specialization is in strategy, and so I can kind of share a little bit of that with you here, because as a business owner or a consultant and a creator, strategy is important to have. Um, it helps you stay in a specific, pointed in a direction, and rather than being kind of falling off the rails and, you know, going into different directions and keeping focus. That is very important. 60 days in, um, as I said, the kind of numbers that I've got would make any creator just say, I give up. This isn't for me. Clearly, I'm not getting the views. I'm not even getting the subscribers. It's getting frustrating. This is the time when people say, you know what, I'm giving up. Um, But I'm not just any creator and I'm not giving up. And instead, I am going to keep testing and keep learning. So, perfect example, I am here live today trying to learn and grow and really understand what is it that you guys want to see? What do you want to hear more about? And this is my first live. So, there's that too. Um, I am going to be here as much as I can be and learn as much as I can learn. I have been more of a strategist when it comes to YouTube than an actual tactician. So I am now right in the weeds of it, and I'm really trying to build something and make something more valuable for my business. So, as I said, this is still very early days, um, and I've got a lot to learn. And you know, you're going to see me focus more on search based type of topics. Um, they are videos where it's going to align you, the viewer, and the YouTube algorithm and bring the two together. So because we're still less than 90 days into this channel, this is the reason why I want to focus in on search related topics. Um, so, feel free to connect with me here. I'm testing out some of the polls or in the community section. I really wanted you to increase the ability to have conversations with you there as well. So, ask questions there or comment on any perspective you have on any of the videos that I've created here. But what I do want you to do is definitely go back and check out my initial 30 days just to kind of see the difference. You'll also see what I was focused on then. And I should probably check it out myself, but definitely go check out that last 30 days. You'll definitely see there's a big difference. So that is my 60 days update for you. Um, what I've got planned in the next month to close out a full 3 months of being consistently in this channel is as I said, I'm going to do more search focused videos. I'm also going to go down from 2 a week. I was publishing Mondays and Thursdays. I am now going, and I think it's been because I've gotten very busy in the last week or so. um, I am now going down to just 1 a week because I'm not seeing necessarily an appreciable difference in 2 versus 1. I'm not sure that really matters. I've seen others and who have been posting they'll publish every day. Uh, um, I think YouTube is. I've heard it sort of be compared to the way Google search was like 15 years ago, where you've got a lot of long tail and a lot of evergreen content that you can just keep searching and keep rewatching over and over. And so I'm taking that similar approach and I'm going once a week and it's going to be probably every Friday. Either Thursday or Friday. I should actually make that claim as to when I can promise to get things published. But I'm going to say Fridays is a good day to publish that content. Um, and the next one I do have, because I do owe it, is part of my 30-day challenge. I'm going to be providing my 30-day challenge update. This is officially week 3 of my 30-day challenge. And so I'm going to be posting up that in a separate video. So this is it. This is my 60 days of being consistent. My first live, I'm showing up here, and I'm just getting it done. So thanks for watching, and I am going to end this now. But if you've got any questions, feel free to drop them below, and I will see you on the next one.